yasemzansi yenye ikhadi abantu basemzansi ne enhleki ilife yethu ne ngathi siku twilight uyabona kunabantu it's like there's two sides of a life emzansi uyabona life emzansi it appeared as in normal for other people uyabona while there was this other side where people were being tortured in prisons, people were being kidnapped there was police shootings nathi we were involved in that other life defending this life le abantu bona kade bayiphila normally if amabhunu kanjani amabhunu they didn't want to cause a panic in the country so incindezelo yabo even though it was visible bebonakala to anyone but for them to maintain that power over us they had their dark side to maintain that power so whoever kade amongst Africans who had a voice if you had a voice you had to be eliminated if you were an organizer you had to be eliminated and now you must remember ukuthi there was the MK there was the APLA there was the Azandla you understand what I'm saying and those military wings they were planning their own invasions in South Africa but then there was this other life which seemed normal where people would wake up and go to work and then once in a while kuba mass protest must stay away that was just that general life that everybody knew but then there was that other life le kade i-COVID le produce ama-askari abantu abafana nabo mamasela writing le life le produce abantu abafana nabo bathu bani lengamla le bebulala abantu eFlag Plus uDekoko Adrian Dekoko leyo life that under that life where abantu beba poison aba-injectwa nge-HIV aba-unknowing that life bekunezinto ezibhayi ezenzakala and thina yiyo le life leyo besi-defend le abantu bebangayiboni that thing ukuthi at the end of the day leyo life leyo would have flipped upside down and then people would have realized good son you know what actually the life besiphila kusiyiyo well umfethu wa train as a soldier at a very young age 13-14 out yami ngathi mayiceda ukutrainwa ithe mina 17 yagaywa imachine and the machine ayenza out yami it shook the world yashuka umhlaba yaba famous umhlaba wonke ngoba kwaba something ngekuthi amangamli yawathusa okay kwayenzakala ukuthi out yami icele iye ku Truth and Reconciliation ngo94 for yona leyo case yakhe okay ku Truth and Reconciliation ukuthi kade sebamgaya 22 years vele ucela ipardon vele usejele sekaseva 22 years for yona le writing le okay Truth and Reconciliation imnikeze ipardon makaphuma ku pardon out wami bamlahlela ku society. This man is a trained soldier at the age of 13. All he knows is to hold a gun. That's how he knows how to survive. Yeah, well, child soldiering beyibhaya out here. Sonke besibancane. Leyo na akumele ukuthi siyele nalesizama ukuthi siya sugar code. Babhaya abantu even naku MK, naku APLA, naku Azandla. Babhaya abantu abajoin i-military babancane out here. 13 years, 14 years, 15 uyangithola. But because angithi ke kwasignwa i-agreement in the United Nations ngaboma 86 ukuthi kungayuzwa ama-child soldiers. So that they keep to a secret. Uyabona? Akusinto ekhulunywayo. Uyabona? But into ebeyenzakala, into ebeyikhona beyidada down there. Ngoba nayo outcome le ngikutshela ngayo, outcome ishaya imishini na 17 years. Bamgweba kanje untanga una 17 years, bamgweba 22 years. Uthola ipardon, I think kade sekanabo ma 18 19 makathola ipardon. Uyabona? Aphume 94 kuyavotwa, yonke into iyajika iba casual, life go on. Uyabona? Sekumele manje untanga operate outside the military afuna ispana yenzeni. Uyabona? Okay, awuthizamile. Uyabona? Ifuna ispani ibuleke ispani ngasitholi because yini iyambuyela la engakayenza. Uyabona? Indaba yakhe pheleke yaba kuma media, ku TV, uyabona naye wabonakala uyabona so namangamla nawayamazi uyabona akatholi ispan uyabona noma sitholile ispan but maba find out ukuthi ubani siyamphelela uyabona ispan umuntu angadina decide ukuthi ayithi ngisebenzise lokunye kufundisiwe uyabona ahlanganisa amanye amasotsha sibaningi singamasotsha sihlela senze next sihlela sisebenza sinamali uyabona sinama families uyabona abanye bethu sikhona ukuzidiscipline ngoba sisizwile indaba yebhangi uyabona we enough for that life amanye amadoda that's the only way out for bona namanje uyabona amajita azihlanganise bayenza into zabo uyabona cash in transit babe grand baphumelele kubhede ngalelo langa lebhede ngaleso sikhathi leso ngalendlela babhedelwe ngayo uyabona u-outfahlako yabona athi makafahlakiwa ecourt into eyangisha kakhulu futhi ecourt yabona ijudge bekuyingamla yabona before bamgweba ijudge ivuse le ndaba yakhe le ya you understand ukuthi lo muntu lona uyapardonwa i-truth and reconciliation so ifile lakhe lelalala event li sealed uyabona le nto leyenzakala during war times uyabona hayi lengamla lena ivuse la ngithi no wena futhi kahle wena bengamele ngabe outside ku society uyabona ungakhohlwa ukuthi wena wakwabulala amangamla angaka uyabona and sakuxolela ukucala si state uyabona manje mina ngeke ngixolele awuthamba ishaya nga 2 life sentence and 242 years ngaphakathi namanje ise Polsmo prison awuthamba ise Polsmo iseva leyo minyaka leyo lo muntu loyo oke wayenza one of the biggest missions ekokuthi bheka zezaba influence ye change la eSouth Africa uyayibona because it was something eyathusa belungu his actions got abelungu running out of South Africa uyayibona la but he's languishing in prison uyayibona and those in power they've got nothing to do with him anymore uyayibona because if they had took him in ngalesa sikhathi lesiyana uyayibona put him in a military, put him in a police force, put him in anywhere where he's going to be relevant and make a living. But like the rest of us, because njengoba ngijodke kwathengiswa mina for instance thina magiwa kuma integration thina we were a unit operating on the ground we were operational, we were doing missions there are those soldiers who are camp soldiers, that's what I call them. They've got excessive military training, which they never put to use. They ended up in camps. Tina Lana within the country, we didn't get excessive military training. We've got that military training in Sitolile, which was basic. Because Tina, we were put on a deep end. Yeah, we were forced to dive on the deep end. While now, tomorrow it's on. So there are camp soldiers who stayed in a camp, who traveled to all these other foreign countries and got all this experience, but never got to use their one. And most of them, it is yibo labo bathola ukuthi today yibo labo bapush ama heist bayenzani. You understand? Because life say change. Yabona. Izinto zishiftile. Back then when we were all together, now we are not together. Now it's every man for himself. Yabona. Those in power looking out for themselves. We are one of the team, and they are those people they expected to survive within the society. And labantu labamfethu baphethe any knowledge, any experience. So phela wonke lama heist majority awabhayenziwa amasotsha. Mina ngizokutshela ivalo. A majority yawo mawuthi awabheka nawe amanye khona aba captured kuma CCTV ubheke action yamajiti yabona ukuthi la military action yabona precision laba kusabotsotsi laba yabona abotsotsi bathanda ukudubula abotsotsi bangena bagijima yabona they shoot from the hip abotsotsi amasotsha asebenza ngetactic yabona imishini yenzakala yonke engadutshulwanga amasotsha ba controller yonke situation emathi ubheka ama robberies abhaya ku CCTV yabona utayela lana no by the book by the numbers yabona 99 akusabotsotsi so amajita out there alambile yabona and i-reality into kumele sizixoxe lezo awuthami yabona singazifeel into amajita out there la maningi amajita ashiya ama country ashiya iSouth Africa avaya ayo trainer today they find themselves feeling useless and unwanted and irrelevant yabona abanye baba under influence yotshwala ngazi amajita abhaya who were once the most bravest yabona the most powerful people I've ever known yabona but mawuthi ababheka namhlanje abanye bakhona ama-alcoholic babulawa utshwala baphelile yabona bakhuluma in my time yabona they've achieved nothing. Others are still hoping and wishing that time can come back yabona. There was a time phela thina masikhula when we were involved kuma military actions, military operations, our daily living yabona, it was exciting. All the time we were looking for targets because we knew we had to get guns, we had to get money, we had to advance the revolution, the struggle yabona. So you didn't care about anything else except that. That was our life. We are talking most especially those who were here internally. We lived that. You understand? You would stay here, you would move away from here. So you're making new friends. Movile da. We are gonna say Moshe again. Lapon Moshile Melanie move. We are one of those kind of. And then after that 94, Nyabiso. If nina nisafuna ukuthi nipushe le revolution, nisafuna ukuba amasoja. Nazi ukuthi lento enizobe niyenza from now on, you'll be doing it on your own. Yabona. Phela back then ama-APLA forces would do missions and they would report ama-mission awayenzile, and then high command leadership would take acknowledgement of that. Yabona ukuthi yeah, this was done by APLA vele. Yabona. So that gives ama-soldiers the protection. So ama-soldiers without political protection, it's a problem. Yabona. Because once you operate outside of the political protection of the political idea, now you become rebels. Most of us, we could have continued to fight after 94. But because of the fear of being labeled rebels and being sold by our own people, we could have died. Because once they decided, we are going to negotiations, political leadership, and then the military high command themselves, they join in and say, okay, now we are following. When as a soldier down on the ground, you are lost. You see what I'm saying? You are lost. Because now, even the people themselves around the country, now they were singing that song. We are becoming free, we are becoming free. But in actual fact, it was just in a process of selling out, which people now are just now realizing, good age. The waiting. PAC was after the land. We were after the overthrow, the total overthrow of the state and the repossession of land. But we didn't achieve that. It hasn't been achieved. And today, questionnaire land is being used as a marketing strategy. I always tell people, the real revolutionaries here in South Africa, the real winners in South Africa here, are the Boers who live in Oranje. Those are the real winners. Those are the real revolutionaries. Because those people, they managed to push their revolution and they gained themselves a piece of land where they can be independent and have their own currency, their own military and their own everything. Independent of everyone. And those people are self-sufficient. Those people are revolutionaries. In my book, those are the people who actually achieved something in South Africa. The rest of us achieved nothing. We achieved nothing. The people who actually achieved something in South Africa, those people who convinced Mandela to give them Oranje. Because they are living much better than we are. Freer than we are. They are self-sufficient. They do their own farming. Even our food security today is is achieving. Few people in the parliament who are going to fuck us up all the time. Orlando is taking a library A1. Since you are Mapon. Akhi enye library like Orlando ingakanan groti Orlando. By now Orlando bekumele 3, 2, 4 libraries, and I'm cool if we're really concentrating on education, because that's the only way out. If bafuna ukufaka abantu kulena, but bafaka abantu kule situation and baba educate. Babayeka banjalo. Education is very important. Asinama library. Phela basically thina imotebheka after 94 we still using ama institutes amangabla. Abo VETS, abo UCT, aska build any institutes ekuthi zifunda Africanism or zifunda Africanist education. Uyabona? Aska we haven't even begun to translate biology into isiZulu, isiSotho, isiXhosa. Uyabona? We haven't even begun to translate incwadi ye-maths into isiZulu, isiXhosa, iSpedi. We're still learning those things in English. That's why we're having difficulties in understanding. Now, if a Chinese child is learning biology in language yakubo is China, or biology is China, obviously also excel and become the most greatest biologist. As an African child, is a translate their language into Guye. But the funny thing with the Bible, it translates into all African languages. That's why white people is easy for them to progress, because everything is in their language. Tina, as Africans, there's always going to be the first in this, the first black person to do this, the first black person to do that. Because it takes a lot for a black person to achieve in this white world. You understand what I'm saying? So we're always going to be the first in everything. We're never going to be, highly achieved. We're always going to take second end, because even the most highly rated professor or who's an African, when he sits with other white professors, they don't take him in as the same in their level. We understand the waiting thing. Now, as a black professor, he has to make sure that first he's fluent in language. He's able to communicate in this English language. So, there's no change out here. So, we are still in the same path. And it's getting worse and worse. Amajita out here, soldiers are out here. Apaya mfethu. Apaya, men and women, not only amajita kuphela, men and women who took the time and say, okay, I'm going to take up arms and actually follow this struggle. Today they are nobodies. They are disregarded. So some of us, I don't know, some of us, we took the time to educate and concentrate on other things. Because ikana ngifuna blind. Ikana ngilale ngayo, mvaye ngayo. Like yazini ngihamba nje ngino. Ngihleli nawe kanje. Ngine-bullet elingaphakathi emzimbeni wami, nginezinye imbobo zama-bullet la kimi. Uyabona that thing? So I want nothing to do with guns out here. Ama-guns ngiwaspanisile. There's nothing fascinating. Yazi nginokubona abantu bashaya amagane emamoyeni, uyabona? Igadi ngispanisile out here. Yazi bengiqamela ngayo la thing. Uyabona? Bengiqamela nge-AK47, bengiphatha ama-pistol la kimi. Uyabona? Bengiphatha hayi jo. Njengoba ngikutshela ngithi thina kakhulu ne bese ku fundraising military wing ya-up, yabona? So thina bese disarm out here. Abokhata labo, thina besidubulana nabo phoyisa fethu sithatha igani siphume sabe, yabona? Leyo sosibham leso sihamba siyo amelinye isoja somewhere, yabona? Yeah. Ama-R5 angakangeni la, ama-R bekusasa operate ngama-R4 nama-G3 lawo. Thina beswathatha thina. Bekuyi shoot out. Yabona? You shoot out olelulele kuthatha isibhamu ngehanjwa. It was that situation, yabona? So at times you'll find yourself ukuthi uphethe ibhamu ezibhayi, yabona? Zisahleli kusamele zo distributwa, yabona? And I understand ukuthi kwesinye isikhathi lento lezi mele zithathe ziyofihlwa, yabona? Mele, and you can't have those things there forever. Mele move, yabona? So constantly you find yourself with amaganzi, yabona lezo zinto.